Hey, this is Demetrius Flowers, and today I'm going to be recording video 3 in my series, This Is My Story. In video 1, I discussed with you why I was doing this series. It was really just to introduce myself. I wanted to introduce myself and talk to you about why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. I told you that I had posted so many videos, and I know a lot of people had seen them because I can see the views and things like that from my YouTube. Post a lot of them on my social media sites, and so just wanted to give people an opportunity to know who I was, to know that I was real, and why it is that I was doing some of the things that I'm doing, and why it is that I was reaching out to you and saying, hey, what I'm doing, you can be a part of, and we can really go out and chase after our dreams together and be successful in this life in the way that we desire to be. And so that's what I talked about in video 1. In video 2, I introduced you to my wife. I introduced you to my beautiful wife, Shanta, my amazing little boy, Chancellor, and showed you why it is that I have made the decision to not accept where I am in life, even though I've had some amazing successes, but why it is that I am continuing to push and strive and drive, and why it is that I'm going after life in the manner that I am. And so I wanted to have an opportunity just for you to see, yes, I am real. I have an amazing family, and this is why we do what we do. And so wanted to introduce you to my family, which I had that opportunity. In video 3, I just want to share a little bit more with you about my story. I grew up in Chicago. I was born in the late 70s in an area called Inglewood. For many of you, you may have heard of Inglewood. CNN has done many stories on Inglewood, the poverty, the lack, the violence. And so that's the area I grew up in. And a lot of people may think that that's just how it is today, but that's a lot of that is what was taking place back when I was a kid. It just seems to have made national attention now. And I can remember growing up in that area and thinking to myself that this sucked. And knowing that this was my life, it made me really depressed, at an early age. And then growing up with the fact of knowing that I didn't know who my father was, that was something that, also mentally hurt me terribly and deeply. And I know a lot of us have had to endure that and are still enduring it and going through it. And that's something that really, really hurt me and still messed with me and played with my mind and my emotions all the way into my early 30s. And then at some, at a really amazing point in my life in my early 30s, it just all of a sudden went away. And I'll share later on with you in the video in this series what happened and what took place as it relates to me being able to let go of that hurt and that pain. But I grew up without a father, not knowing how I got into this world, and that really caused me to go into, I would say, a depression, feeling as though I wasn't wanted, and how can someone not want to be in the life of a child that they helped bring into this world? And so those things really bother me. And then I had to endure an abusive relationship with my stepfather, where I had to watch him, hit my mom, and I had to watch him be abusive to my brothers and sister, and as well as myself. Being that I was the oldest boy growing up in the house, I kind of felt like I needed to take on a role where I was the protector. And so a lot of things that went on in my home as it related to the negative environment that he was creating, I tried to step in and be that person to take on the brunt of that. And I did that very early on. While going through that situation and being so depressed and already at a really young age having these negative thoughts about how I had gotten into this world and not knowing my father and things like that, I kind of, like I said, I was in a depressed state of mind, so I kind of felt like I just wanted to give up. Not suicidal in that sense, like I wanted to kill myself, but more so that I just didn't care if I lived or died. And it wasn't to the point, like I said, that I wanted to be destructive and get involved with gangs and things in my neighborhood, or be a part of the thing that was dragging down the environment or the neighborhood that I grew up in. But I do recall feeling as though I just didn't care if I lived or died. And so I remember being in school and just not really caring. And something happened. I failed the first grade, and I know that's really hard to share, but I actually failed the first grade. And thinking back on it now, I kind of chuckle and think to myself, you have to be something stupid to fail the first grade. But I did. I failed the first grade. And it's something that for a long time I've kept in and I hadn't really shared with anyone. But I realized that keeping this stuff in doesn't help anyone, doesn't help myself. I feel like it kind of releases me. And so I don't have any problem sharing it now. I try to share when I go and speak to young folks and groups and things like that for what I do professionally. And so it's just something that I think was a product of the environment that I was in and the situation, the mental state that I was going through. But after failing the first grade, something amazing happened in my life, and completely transformed the way I was thinking, completely transformed how I was looking at my life, my worth, myself. And in video 4, I'll share that with you. So that's the end of video 3. Please come back for video 4. I want to share with you what took place in my life that transformed my mindset to feeling like, something, as long as I can endure this situation and get through it and get to a point to where I'm responsible for my own life, I can be more and I can chase after the dreams that are on my heart. That being said, Demetrius Flowers, as always, I hope you've gotten something out of this. Come on back for video 4.